Let's talk a little bit about roads. So this road, I didn't put enough road base on it. And it needed to be graded, so we didn't put down all the road base. I think we just put 4 tandem dumps on it. It needed to be a little graded out to get a better flow of water. Maybe a crossbar put in it here and there. So we didn't really put down all the rock. But this is the result of having to drive on this road while it's wet. So sometimes you can have the rule, don't drive on the road within 72 hours of a rain event, but sometimes you need to get equipment in and off site, within 72 hours. So what happened here is trailers and equipment and materials and containers and stuff up and down this road. One of the neighbors did help clean it up a bit. It looks much better than it did before. But these ruts is what happens when you don't have enough road base and you have a clay underlayment. So there are areas that are solid, like right here. These are solid. You got good traction. Over there, not so much. So what we need to have happen here is a couple more loads of road base and then lock it in place with number 57. Now, a lot of folks will say, hey, just put the blue chip down. That's what they do for the highways. But the highway can come in here and strip this, pack it down, and then put in the road base with their special equipment. If you're just dumping rock on a road, you got to have that big rock to lock in place, and then the number 57, which is I think it's a 3/4 inch rock. This is an 1.5 inch rock, but that 3/4 inch rock goes down on top of it, fills in the cracks, and still allows water to get through the road base. Okay, you want to allow that water to soak through the road base. You want to try to drive on the road when it's dry or just moist, but that's how we're going to lock this down in place. Another thing you can do is you can drag this road up, so you can drag the some of the mud up, but you risk just really tearing the road up. So you do need to have additional rock on it. Now the small thin rock, blue chip, it's like a flake. You can get that cheap. You can get lots of it, but what's going to happen is it'll channel. So because it is blocking the water from soaking through the road, it can channel and get all cut up, and then you're just going to be dragging the road all the time. What we're doing here is a forestry road or a farm road, and it'll have layers upon layers of number 157, 1.25 stone, and then number 57 stone, and those will lock in place over time, and then you can just simply roll it out, make sure it's crested, and then manage the water. So what makes the road look like this? Water combined with mud. And you're saying, well, Justin, you're talking about putting together a porous road. Again, we want that water to move away from the road, so that's why that ditch is down the side, and the road is at a crescent. It's kind of a crescent like this, and so the water moves away from the sides of the road. Now, the water that does go through the rock, it's soaked down the bottom, is going to keep a road from heaving up too much, because most of the time, it'll evaporate. The road will heat up, it'll evaporate all that water, but the water drains off the road rather than runs over the road. And so what you'll end up with is something like this, and maybe every 10, 15 years, you might put some more rock down on it. Now, this rock here doesn't have any number 57. See, the 57 will get in between the larger rock and lock everything in place. And if you just keep on going with what you're doing, you're going to end up with this all the time, which is a pain in the ass. And from a farm biosecurity perspective, you're taking soil off the property onto the road, and that's not permitted. Now, fortunately, this site at the road does have a good, nice level spot. They put the gate inside the property rather than at the road, and so you can pull off. Like, I don't drive up here. I basically am watching some pigs and stuff, but they can pull off the road at a nice level spot, open the gate, and then everything is good from that point forward. So water bars. What's a water bar? Well, a water bar is going to catch some of this water coming down and run it across the road in a slight ditch. Got to be careful where you put it, because you want to still be able to get trailers in and out of here. And you don't want to have it touch the bottom of your vehicle. But that might move the water over here into a basin or cistern, or some kind of micro swale that will move the water through the landscape. In this case here, they have a section that probably could take a water bar, because it already kind of flattens out a little bit. So the water would come down to that shelf, and it would move off to the side here, and then you would want to move it all the way out into the woods as long as you can take it. kind of like a level swale to take that water away, because you are going to get some rainwater coming off the hill here. That's just the way it is. Now, building this road up over time does mean just budgeting in regular loads of rock. But again, we're doing a farm road, we're doing an agricultural road, we're doing something that is going to have be able to handle a much heavier load without the initial equipment required to make a road base. See, the roads and the highway are designed for cars to be moving over all the time, and they're designed with a lot of compaction considerations and other things that are just not readily available here. So you're going to end up just adding materials over time. Now, if you're going to add additional roads in the future, you want to be looking at how you can come off and come out on contour. And so your water bars could later be additional roads that might give you fence access. It might give you other areas. But again, what will end up happening, because this is porous, is that seeds are going to get down into it. And plants are going to grow through the road. Primarily grass is going to grow through the road. And that grass root will further lock everything together, as well as manage the moisture that's going to come down through the road. So it's a more natural road. It's a road that doesn't have puddles on it. It's a road that doesn't need regular maintenance, regular yearly maintenance. You will have challenges in the wet season if you're driving on it all the time and the road base isn't deep enough, but it won't move. When the rain comes and it starts flushing water down the hill, these big rocks are not going to move. The other rocks in between it are not going to move. And what you're going to end up with is a much more stable base that can take heavier equipment. It can take the tractor, it can take the trailers and the trucks in and out all the time. And it's just a much better solution. Now, where does this information come from? It comes from the manuals from the Army Corps of Engineers. And then every state is slightly different, but your state Department of Transportation will also have guides. And then the U.S. Department of Transportation has guides. These are farm roads or equipment access roads. They're built differently. And if you don't get enough rock in there in the first couple of runs, you can always just add more. See, the owners here can just drag this out real quick, add more rock to it on a dry day, and then track it in from there. Everything will lock together. They'll give them a nice strong road. One of the nice things about this particular road is if you needed to take a excavator and put a culvert in or something, you just dig a ditch and put your culvert in, cover it back up, put rock on it again. It really does come together. It's really easy to maintain. I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead. Hope to show you some more roads. There's a forestry project going on another property we manage. And when they start dumping rock for that road, we'll get pictures of that and show you how that's going. Forestry manuals have some great ideas and concepts for roads. The key is we don't want to spend a shitload of money to get the road in to turn around and have to maintain it every year like someone's driveway. See, the Highway Administration has lots of vehicles to go maintain these blue chip country roads, and they're going around. They got teams of people to work on that. On a farm, you don't. So you have to get something in place that's durable, something in place that's long term, something in place that's going to stay in place, and ultimately, eventually, the maintenance is fewer and fewer and fewer because you've got enough rock base in there to keep things going. www.prosperityhomestead.org. That's where you can ask specific questions about your property. We're here to help you get your small farm or homestead up and running at break even or better. That includes the access points and the infrastructure necessary to have regenerative agriculture in place, to get in there at a lower cost, to get the operation up and running with low maintenance, and then ultimately get that end result you're looking for. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.